所以说我觉得，外国人在中国做 hip hop 这方面的东西的话，我觉得他应该更多的扮演一个角色是，promoter 和那些 events 的 organizer， 他应该把他们国家的那些好的那些东西带到中国。因为我们在中国得到的 resource 是很有限的，所以说他们可以带到中国之后，然后分享给我们 ，share 给我们。那我们一来我们会很感谢他们，二来呢就是我们也就是那个叫什么，就我觉得这个就是也可以学到很多东西，因为很多东西就是全都是靠自己在那边瞎看瞎听。进步太慢了，你有一个老外跟你面对面的说，进步很快。我认识 Dana 之后，我也接受到了就是很多就是 original 的一些美国的东西我觉得原来是这样的，我之前的理解是错误的。
Came to China in 1999. Came here at that particular point in time. Hip hop, in terms of any news or media on hip-hop in China, it was pretty much a blank slate. So I had just finished up university, coming from Michigan State University, coming out of Detroit. Never really traveled around the world. My mother's an artist. I was inspired by her. She traveled everywhere, so I saw the pictures, heard the stories. She would live 6 months out of the year in Mexico and go to Europe and Africa like 20-something plus times. So it was my turn to travel, and I wanted to go somewhere different. China was just someplace I never really expected that I'd be going, particularly at that time, but opportunity came up, was actually teaching English, and I hopped on it. Okay, let's go to China. I'm passionate about hip-hop. Not much going on in China at the time. Here's an opportunity for me to do something. That's the story in short. Yeah, it was just because at that particular time in China with Chinese hip hop, I saw there was a real need for it. It was the DJ scene was sort of taking off. There were already DJs doing club parties. The dance scene had already been going on for a minute, and the graffiti scene in the South, they had something going. I'm more in tune to the rap element, rap aspect of it. So it was only natural for me to move in that direction, and nothing had really been done. Like in mainland China, there was no forum for rappers, there was no platform for them to showcase their talent, and the scene is pretty stagnant. There weren't any famous rappers or anyone that really made an impression at that point in time. So this was the call to see who was out there and to get them together to kind of build their skills. And yeah, we did it in 2002 actually. And yeah, I'm from Detroit, and it's just in my nature. I kind of look back and I see like there's so many different directions I could have took the rhyming or whatever, working with MCs, but you know, we just got that battle spirit in us coming out of Detroit. I'm just a battle kind of dude.
I arrived in China in '95 on vacation, and I haven't left. Got Shanghai, so to speak. I was DJing back then. I came from Montreal. I'm Canadian. Like I said, I was on holiday passing through, found a job immediately when I was here. I was actually on my way to Hong Kong. I never made it, which is a good thing because this is the place to be right now. And I noticed the music they were playing back then was just very campy, very cheesy, and so on and so forth. And I brought in some new elements, more like dance elements, including hip hop, all genres. But hip hop sort of was. I used to DJ 7 to 9 hours a day, like from 10 to 5 in the morning, right? So you'd always start off with hip hop. It was just sort of something you used, and then you go like your acid jazz, and then you'd go a little bit up and up as you continued, and until that was my basic set, very eclectic, right up until about '98, and then after that, hip hop was predominantly the request. And it kept going. And then eventually to the point where I did probably one of the first hip-hop nightclubs in Shanghai. Pegasus, Club Pegasus, which people still refer to these days. They wish it could be like Club Pegasus before. Right? It was a very special time because it was the beginning. It was the first real hip-hop club, so we were just flying by the seat of our pants, and everything we were doing, because again, it's all about timing, just seemed to be the right thing. And it just, it grew organically to the point where it was like, everyone still talks about the Thursday nights at Pegasus back in the day. It's like, it's kind of like a patch on the shoulder. It's like, all the kids these days, all the kids in the nightclubs, all the DJs, you know, all the MCs, as soon as they see me, it's like, hey, Paulie, how you doing? Uncle Paulie. Like, it feels great to have that respect. And it's great to see them, you know, continue on and trying to emulate. But that was the heyday. Right now, it's unfortunate that there's so many nightclubs that it's hard for one to really rise above all and be the true nature of the game.
我觉得他们两个人真的非常的努力，而且已经做到了很成功，因为他们两个人是外国人，但是他们现在在说的中文很难得，真正本土的中国人没有做到，他们两个人做到了。
We were all friends back in 2001, and we just started doing it from there, you know, doing Chinese hip hop, and then our first album was 2002, 2003. Yeah, it got released at Scream Records. I think that's the first hip hop group album that came out of China. I mean the mainland, I shouldn't speak for Hong Kong and Taiwan. The mainland, the first group hip hop album.
You can take away certain parts, easy to take away the kind of the style, the bravado, the swagger, the clothes. That's easy to pick up. But what they're doing with language is a lot more difficult, especially when you don't even speak English, when you speak Luoyang. So they understood what was going on with the language, and they were able to translate that into Chinese. And that's why so many kids look up to them for what they've done in the scene.
I want them to be able to go back and listen to the 2,000 songs that we've recorded in our career and have every flow covered. I've done every flow. I've fucked with every combination of words that you can possibly think of. 2s, 1s, 3s, 6s, 2 4s, 4 4s. I want to do everything before they have a chance. And that just comes from my love of linguistic. I mean, I'm writing a Chinese dictionary of rhyme because there wasn't one, which, you know, Chinese is a great language to rhyme. There's all sorts of cool tones you can play with, all sorts of similar sounds. And there wasn't one, so, you know, naturally, spare time, you go through and you start picking out words that rhyme. But it's not because I want to be like, oh, you know, I have the key. It's for my own personal pleasure, because I think it's cool when you can make 4 4s, you know, or when you can rhyme 16 bars of Chinese idioms, you know? And you can't, it's not something that you can just go and write out. You got to kind of research it a little bit. So I come very scientific. I'm scientific Chinese hip hop. Whereas other kids, you know, try and write more from the heart. I try and write more for the challenge, to see if I can do something that nobody's ever done. In the end, if, you know, kids look back and say, oh, you know, they pushed the package, that's all, you know, that's our goal now.